Okay, please keep this information in your mind throughout this test. And let's get into the first question. X squared minus 4x plus 3 is equal to what? Now, this means that 3 here is equal to a times b. And this means that minus 4 is equal to a plus b. Therefore, what we are looking for is two numbers of which their multiplication is equal to 3 and two numbers of which their sum is equal to minus 4. And we have this in choices, so we say x and x. As we see, the sum is equal to minus 4, which is negative, and the multiplication is positive. That means that we have minus sign for both of a and b, and their multiplication is 3 and their sum is minus 4, which means that one of them is 1 and the second one must be 3. This is the answer. They can replace each other, so you can see this in the choices, x minus 3 times x minus 1, which are equal to each other. X squared plus 2x minus 8 is equal to what? As you see here, the product of a and b is equal to minus 8, and the sum of a and b is equal to plus 2. Therefore, I can say that x, one of these numbers must be negative in order to get a negative result. So one of them will be negative, the other one will be positive. And the greater one must be positive in order to get a positive sum here. 8, multiplication of 8 must come from 4 and 2. So 4 minus 2 is going to be equal to 2. So I can say that x minus 2, and x plus 4. That is the answer. Next question. X squared plus 6x plus 5 is equal to what when you factor them? So here what we have is a plus b is equal to plus 6, and a times b is equal to plus 5. Therefore, I can easily say that both of these numbers must be positive. Okay? In the next step, I have to find two numbers that their multiplication is equal to 5 and their summation is equal to 6. And here we have 5 and 1. When you multiply 5 by 1, it's going to be 5. And when you sum 5 by 1, it's going to be 6. So I can put 5 and 1 here easily. It can be vice versa. X plus 1 times x plus 5. Both are true. Here's the next question. X squared minus 9x plus 18 is equal to what? As we see here, the multiplication of these two numbers must be equal to 18, and the sum of these numbers must be equal to minus 9. So we can easily say that these two numbers are negative both, so that their summation is negative and their multiplication is positive. And what numbers do we have that yield to 18? We have 6 and 9. We have 6 and 3. When you sum minus 6 by minus 3, you have 9. So that gives you the result. X minus 6 and x minus 3. Until this question, we had assumed that the coefficient of x is always equal to 1. However, sometimes we don't have that in mind, in our hands, and I'm going to correct it for this question by putting new coefficients in front of x and x here, as say m and n. Okay, so what we have in our hands is going to be written like this. For this question, what we have in our hand is x squared plus 6x minus 7 is equal to 1. As you see here, a times b is equal to minus 7, and a plus b is equal to plus 7, which shows that one of these numbers must be negative, the other one is positive. So let's put them x plus and x minus. Whichever comes first is not important at all. And as we see, if the summation is positive, then the greater number must be positive, so that what gives us this is 7 and 1. So I have to put here x plus 7 and x minus 1. 7 minus 1 is equal to 6. That's the answer. In this question, we are expected to expand parentheses. Let's do it with a different pen. Let's say x times x is equal to x squared. And then we have 3 times x plus 3x. And then we have another x plus x. And then we have 3 times 1 is equal to 3. Let's sum them up. We have only one x squared here. So we say x squared plus 3x plus 1x is equal to 4x plus 3. This is the answer. Another similar question we have here, x minus 3 times x minus 4, and let's expand them. Here I have x times x, which is equal to x squared, and then I have x times minus 4, which is equal to minus 4x, and then I have minus 3 times x, which is equal to minus 3x, and then I have minus 3 times minus 4, which is equal to plus 12. And this yields to x squared is again x squared. I have minus 4x here, and I have minus 3x here. So when I sum them up, I have minus 7x plus 12 as my answer. This is the question that we have in our hands. And let's again use this side of the board, right hand side of the board. And we know that a times b is equal to 20 here. And we know that a plus b is equal to 9 here. Actually, these numbers must be 5 and 4, because the multiplication of 5 times 4 must be equal to 20. And 5 plus 4 must be equal to 9. And both of the numbers are positive because both of the signs are positive. So I can say that this equation is equal to 5x plus 5 times x plus 4. And now what I am asked is I have to place a as 5. A is equal to 5 because a is greater than b. And what I am asked is 2a plus b, which is equal to 2 times 5 plus, I have to place b as 4, plus 4, which is equal to 10 plus 4, which yields to 14. This is the question in my hands. Please read the question carefully, as we are given x minus a here. Let me show it by another pen so we don't get confused. X minus a is going to be negative. Now, when we turn into the question again, what we have here is the multiplication of a and b is going to be equal to minus 24, and the sum of a and b is equal to plus 2. And what we have here, it means that one of these numbers will be negative and the other one will be positive. Let's do it. X minus something and x plus something. As you see here, 24 can be reached by multiplying 6 and 4. 6 times 4 is equal to 24, and we have to choose their signs carefully in order to reach 2. And how can we do that? The greater one must be, 6 must be positive, and the smaller one must be negative, so that 6 minus 4 is equal to 2. And here we reach that a is equal to do not forget that minus a here is equal to 4. Minus a is equal to, minus 4. Therefore, we have a is equal to 4. And plus b here is equal to 6. So b is equal to 6. And the rest is straightforward. Let's do this. 2b minus a is equal to 2 times 6 minus 4, which is equal to 12 minus 4, which is equal to 8. Okay, this is the question that we have in our hands. So let's expand the parentheses first in order to reach what a and b are equal to. And let's do it. X times x is equal to x squared. And we have plus 9x. This was x squared. This is 9x. Minus x. And minus 9. Then this is equal to x squared plus 8x minus 9. Therefore, what we have is a here, what we are asked is equal to, okay, let's write it down first, is equal to x squared plus ax minus b, right? So, which means that a is equal to, what we are asked here, a is equal to 8 and b is equal to, minus b is equal to minus 9. Therefore, b is equal to 9. What we are asked is 2a plus b. Let's do it. 2a, I don't want you to get confused, so I'm going to use another color. Let's say green. 2a plus, minus b is equal to, a, as you know, is equal to 8. So 2 times 8 minus b, which is equal to 16 minus 9, which is equal to 7. X squared plus x times root of 3 plus root of 2 plus root of 6 is equal to 1. As we see here, the multiplication of these two is equal to square root of 6, and the sum is equal to square root of 3 plus square root of 2, which means that apparently one of these numbers is square root of 3, the other is square root of 2, so I can write them easily. And both of them are positive because both the sign of a times b is positive and the sign of a plus b is positive, which means that both are positive. So I have x's here, I place, and I have root of 3 and square root of 2 here, which comes out to be the answer.